habits. Okay. And what are the habits? That actually is the next topic. The next topic is about atomic habits. So how habits can actually bring success to you, how habits can actually make you something what you really want to be. So, so we have Kanika from Mumbai. She's also a very, very good speaker, trainer, and she has been conducting a lot of programs for not only for the IFA fraternity, but for exchanges like BSc and other organizations. And she's a practice and a proponent of financial planning and various other things. So looking forward to learn from you, Kanika. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kanakji, for giving me this opportunity and all the compliments you paid to me. And thank you, Bhanuji, for your wonderful presentation. I mean, there's some things in life you read, but you tend to forget, and you just refresh my memory so well with all your examples. I hope I can live up to your expectations. And I'm sorry, there was a slight technical goof up, and that's why I logged in 3-4 minutes late. Thank you for going first instead of me. And I am going to give this presentation, but I always say it's always a better learning experience and a healthier experience if it's a dialogue and not a monologue. So if you all have any questions, please let me know. I would be happy to answer them at any given point in time during the presentation. Can you all see my screen, please? Please let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes.
Okay. So as the name of this book goes, Atomic Habits, the book is all about creating good habits, and it is about removing the bad habits from your life. The name Atomic Habits, I love this name. Why? Is because it's such an apt name if you read the book. Atomic is the smallest particle, and what the author does is he tries to make you understand by breaking down your habits and your goals and your behaviors into the smallest components. Like Bhanuji said, for instance, that he has spoken about goals and how we should have goals to achieve them. What the author says, James Clear says, is that you should have mini goals before reaching your total goal, simply because when you have mini goals, when you reach them, you feel very happy and you're motivated to move on to your next mini goal. So to break up any goal into several mini goals, and hence the name Atomic Habits, because it teaches you to break up things to achieve successful good habits. Okay, now why did I pick this book? You remember in the lockdown, there was this there was this joke going around. Parents who bunked classes decades ago now attending their kids' online classes with them. So I have a younger brother. His name is Rahul, and this joke is completely applicable to my brother. He never attended any of his classes or made any of his projects. All his projects in school were done by me. When he had exams, I stayed awake longer hours than him because my mom was like, you have to teach him. Pass to hona chahiye. He hates reading and he's never read a book. But as far as this book, Atomic Habits, is concerned, he's read it twice. Simply because this book is very simplistically put and it's very doable. You can easily implement it in your life. Very, very easily implement it in your life, because James Clear has tried to present you with a hands-on manual. जो आप रोज अपने जिंदगी में use कर सकते हो. He's not given a very theoretical, psychological approach, which we might not be able to use in our day-to-day life. So, not only has my brother read this book, every few months, 6-8 months, he sits down and he reads the summary again, which just takes 15-20 minutes, because he feels this book has been a very big motivational successful factor in his life, because it's one book which has really helped him change, and that's why he believes in it so much. I am not always a big fan of the genre of self-help. I try and read all kind of genres. I am a reader. I would say I'm not a reader. I am a reader. I do pick up at least 2 books a month, but I've not always read like a lot of self-help books, because sometimes I feel like they become very repetitive. But I was convinced by my brother to pick up this book. So basically, okay, why did James Clear, the author, write this book? What exactly happened is, James Clear used to play baseball, and in a freak accident, an absolutely freak accident, one day when he was playing a tournament, he was playing a match, the baseball bat hit his head. It hit his head, fractured his skull, dislocated his eyes, and he was in hospital for months in a row. He had multiple surgeries to become normal again, and it took him months to recover. But he knew, and he had it in him, that he wanted to return to the baseball field. To return to the baseball field, he started making the smallest of changes to his habits, so that he can improve every single day. Like, for instance, he never felt like on the first very day he should be able to go in the baseball field and run a few kilometers, or be able to pick up the bat and bat. What he started with is simple. He's like, I don't think I'm capable of that now. Let me go to the gym for exactly 5 minutes and strengthen just my arms today, because that will not affect any other part of my body which has been injured. So he literally just started with something very, very simplistic, and he kept every single day adding one more simpler habit to it. Like, he's done arms for 5 minutes. He decided the next day he'll add 2 more minutes, and he'll probably do his core. So he kept building from there, so that he would gain strength to go back to the baseball field. And from there is this quote, which is the author's favorite quote, and it is a quote which I see on Instagram for 25 times a day, on WhatsApp 10 times a day. It's called, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. What the author is trying to say out here is, every tiny, small, positive change that you make in your life really adds up in the long run to make a very large, positive, successful change in your life. So every small habit matters, and don't overwhelm yourself with trying to change everything overnight. Make the smaller changes every single day in your life. Okay, the first biggest learning from this book is how do you create a habit? How do you create a habit? There are 4 steps to creating a habit. The first is cue, the second is cravings, third is response, and the fourth is reward. Okay. So I'm going to explain this with the help of a slight small example that happened with me. Basically, last year at some point in time, though I hadn't read this book as yet, last year, the beginning of last year, at some point in time, before the second lockdown, I started following someone called Om Swami. Okay, and he has this a very simplistic approach to breath work and meditation. And he says that when you wake up in the morning, he has this one meditation where he tells you that you should probably, just do like, you should just have some kind of a tapping mechanism, or some kind of a reaction which you know about but might not be obvious to the world. Like for example, you tap your shoulder, you tap your wrist, or you just cross your fingers. And when you do this, like when you cross your finger, you have to tell yourself that I am not going to lash out at anybody. And you repeat this thing 10 times when you get up. Okay. And so you basically cross your finger or you tap your wrist and you say, I am not going to lash out at anybody. When I started doing this, I just did it because I have faith in Om Swami. And when I started doing it, I started feeling really good about it. Okay. And because it made me feel so good and so happy, I continued doing it. But later on, when I read this book, I understood what Om Swami was trying to do. Basically, what he was trying to do is by telling you tap and say that thing 10 times a day, he was creating a cue. He was creating a cue for me not to create a good habit, which is not to get angry or aggressive at anyone when they do something which is beyond your expectations, which it does not live up to your expectations. Okay. So by telling you to like whatever, tap your wrist or cross your fingers, he was telling you to create a cue. So that was a trigger of the brain to initiate a behavior. The motivational force behind every habit is a craving. My motivation for it became that I felt immediately happy after I did something like this. Okay. The response is the actual habit which can take form of a thought or an action. So what I used to do is any point in time, like I'm in office and like for instance, I've asked for something and it does not come as per what I wanted. Okay. And you tend to get a little irritated, you tend to get a little aggressive and angry. So every time that happened, I used to just simply cross my fingers and I used to stop right there. And immediately when I crossed my fingers, my attitude completely changed, my mindset completely changed, because in the morning I had subconsciously put it in my head that when I will cross my finger, I will not lash out at anybody. So that helped me become calmer. It helped me never get aggressive, never get angry, and immediately I would calm down. So that was the actual response to the habit. The reward, the end goal of every habit was this, in this example, that when I did not lash out at anybody, I did not get angry at anybody, I felt happier about myself in general. I felt happier about myself in general and happier with my behavior in general, and that is why I continued doing it. A reward is necessary for you to continue a good habit. Because if I had like, suppose you get angry at someone, you lash out on them and say something rude, then you feel bad about it later on. You regret it later on. That's just negative energy taking over. But by not doing that, I was constantly creating positive energy and happy with my own behavior, because it was the desired change I wanted in myself. I was behaving like the desired Kanika, Kapur, which I have in my mind, who I want to be. I wasn't behaving like a Kanika Kapur I didn't want to be. So that was a reward for me. So this was the first learning from the book. Okay, the second biggest learning in this book is he tells you how do you trigger a good habit, and what is the basic thing which results in behavioral change. Okay, so the first thing is to make the habit obvious, to make the behavior change obvious. Like for instance, if you want to start eating fruits, okay, don't keep the fruits in like the refrigerator or in the kitchen. Take a bowl, put the fruits in the bowl and keep it on your dining table. Aate jate, you'll keep seeing it. You'll tend to pick up a fruit and have it. Make it easy. Make sure the cue can happen easily and the reaction activity is as easy as possible too. What does the author mean by that? Is supposing now you've kept that bowl of fruits, okay, and there is a pineapple in it. How easy is it to go pick up a pineapple, then pick up a knife. There's a certain way of cutting the pineapple. You have to spend a lot of time cutting the pineapple. It'll be very discouraging. So instead of that, make it easy. Keep like a banana or an apple, because you can easily pick it up, peel it immediately, or apple does not even have to be peeled. You can just wash it and you can eat it easily. So make it easy. So that does not become an obstacle in the way of creating a good habit. Make it attractive. Make the cue something you enjoy. For instance, if you enjoy bananas, keep bananas. If you don't enjoy, like I don't enjoy papaya. I don't enjoy papaya. So I never keep papaya only in my food bowl. Okay. And I love bananas and I love apples. So I keep a lot of bananas and apples in my food bowl. So I'm attracted to it and I want to have it. I feel like it. Make the habit satisfying. Make clear to yourself why completing this habit is satisfying. For instance, when I have that food, I immediately feel like I've done something healthy and I feel healthier. So I feel good about myself, and that is what makes me repeat eating a fruit every single day. आज खाया तो ऐसे नहीं है कि आज habit अच्छा किया, good habit I had today and I won't repeat it tomorrow. I will repeat it tomorrow if the habit is satisfying. And hence, it is important that the habit should be satisfying. Sorry, just slight issue. Okay, habit tracker. This is the third biggest learning of the book. Basically, what the author tells you is that you already created good, successful habits. But now it is important that you are consistent with the habits and you sustain the habits. Okay. So for that, he tells you to keep a habit tracker. Okay. A habit tracker will be something like this, where you say, did you spend family time? Did you probably the things you want to do? Like, did you meditate? Did you read your book? For instance, for me, I have a habit tracker where I have it written down that did I exercise? Did I do breath work? Did I meditate? Did I read my book today? Did I finish my work which I had planned out for the day? So you make a list of all the habits that you wish to do, the good habits that you wish to track. And at the end of the day, you just tick whatever you've done. How this helps is I'll tell you an example. So have you heard of the comedian Jerry Seinfeld? So he has a habit tracker, and what he used to do is every day he came out with a new joke. He used to cross that date in the calendar. Now 3 days in a row, after he had come up with a new joke every single day and he had crossed that date in the calendar, he got very motivated and he got addicted to crossing the calendar. So that motivated him to come up with a new joke every single day. So that's how a habit tracker really works, to help you continue your successful and good habits and to remain consistent at it. Okay, so that being said, that was the basic key learnings from the book. And the biggest key learning that the author tells you is that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement, because even if you improve by 1% every single day, it will compound to a much larger positive change in your life. But for me, the biggest takeaway and the quote I love the most from the book is, walk slowly but never walk backwards. I love this quote because there are several days in our life where sometimes we are unwell, sometimes we are rained in because it's raining a lot. But on those days, it is easy to tell yourself, oh, I can't do it, and give up. But don't not finish your goals for that day. What I always suggest is if I had 5 things I had to complete at work that day, I would complete 2 or 3, but I would at least complete those 2 or 3. So the next day, I don't have a load of doing everything of the previous day. And that is why I love this quote of walking slowly but never backwards, because I always feel in life it is important to make progress and feel happy about that progress rather than walk backwards. Walking backwards is the only thing which is not going to help us in any way. For instance, day before yesterday, it rained very heavily in Bombay, and I had 3 meetings, and all 3 of them got cancelled in the physical format. And but I picked up the phone and called all of them, and I asked them, "Can you please meet on Zoom so we can continue with the meeting?" And this does not become. We do not waste the day today. We finished what we had planned to finish today itself. Out of the 3 of them, 1 of them wasn't comfortable, but the other 2 were great. So maybe I did not achieve a physical meeting, which would have been way more effective, but I achieved finishing off my discussion with that person on Zoom. So I felt very good at the end of the day that I did not waste the day. So I always say, walk slowly, but never walk backwards. And I always say, remember that whatever progress you made is very good progress. Always congratulate yourself on your progress, no matter how tiny it is. If it's as tiny as I will not have sugar in my coffee in the morning, and you managed to do that for one day, congratulate yourself for it, because it is these small progresses in life which will add up. And it is every time you congratulate yourself, you're motivating yourself subconsciously. Just like when I cross my finger in the morning and tell myself I'm the happiest girl today, I'm subconsciously motivating myself to be very, very happy today and have very smooth, happy. Yeah. So that's all from me. Any questions for me or anything, please let me know. And back to you, Kanakji.
Extremely useful. I think it's a recap of this book again. So it's an amazing book and very nicely presented with your own examples, Kanika. Thank you so much for contributing as a speaker. This was really, really good and nice. And I think this is a must read for everyone, even if you like self-help books or not, and very nicely presented with your own examples, doing something. I think this all has really, really will really help each one of us. So friends, if
So
we
much.
yeah, one more thing which all of us can do after listening to the book, we can just write what is one idea we like and we would like to implement in the chat box. So I'll encourage all of you to just write that. Okay, so these are good books. They should be a part of your library. Thank you
I
so
feel that's the best. Maybe we could all put just one habit which we managed to create, maybe a tiny one only. Like I said, like we didn't have sugar in the morning in our tea, or we had a fruit today. It's just a small habit, or we did not get distracted by our phone for 1 hour today. Just these small habits. If we put just one line, I think it'll be very helpful for all of us to learn from each other.
Good to see everyone writing one thing which they like.